Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about this white privileged chick named Aspen Matis who claims she was raped in college as a freshman. She invited 3 people to her dorm, and two guys and a girl. They watched a movie, and then the guy and the girl left. One guy remained behind, and he forced himself on her. And she was so upset that she invited him to spend the night. So, now compare this. So this is what bothers me, is that the hypocrisy of the liberal left. They're fear-mongering that there's this rape culture on campus, on the one hand, yet on the other hand, they say how sex is a woman's right, women have more power if they're sexual, they like to dress provocatively, but then they say, oh no, don't treat me like a sex object. So this very spoiled girl grew up very wealthy, and she just really wants attention, I believe. Because you take this against, or you hold this up to Iasha Rivers. And you know I talk about this a lot because nobody else is talking about it. And this, if you don't believe that media is biased, then all you have to do is research this Iasha Rivers story just a little. It's very, very sad. So you have a white lib who says, oh yeah, this guy forced himself on me. I invited him to spend the night. Then I went to the school board in college, and they said, well, there's not enough evidence to say that he did anything. So she protests this by going to hike the Pacific Crest Trail leading from Mexico to Canada, funded by her parents. And then she just tries to profit off her rape. So, and then the greatest part is she wants to show her independence, and 10 days into this hike, she meets a dude and ends up having sex with him and gets married to him. So that's how independent she is. And, you know, she gets a book contract. She has a fund for, you know, women who are raped. Sorry. But yet, she never mentions Iasha Rivers. So going back to this Iasha Rivers story, Iasha Rivers is a beautiful black girl who worked for Sharpton, National Action Network. And in last fall, in 2014, she was at a party at Sharpton's and wakes up the next morning in Sanford Rubenstein, who is a lawyer, white, ugly. Sorry, that's my opinion, but really, he is so ugly. No woman in her right mind. Seriously, she had to have been slipped something. But anyway, so she wakes up in his penthouse, and she's bleeding from her lady parts. She goes home, she's talking to her friend on the phone about this, what happened, doesn't have any memory of it, and the friend says, it sounds like you were slipped something, sorry, my hair is sticking up. It sounds like you were slipped something, you should go to the ER. So she goes to the ER, they do a rape culture on her, she gives the details to the police, accuses him of rape, and of course the prosecuting attorney in New York City finds there's not enough evidence to, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, Sharpton, right? So he's all, you know, all about this storyline of division and how white people are taking advantage of black people and we have to stop this, and yet he doesn't even come to the defense of a beautiful young black woman who worked for him. So, and then where did you hear this story? Have you heard this story? No. You heard all about the Rolling Stone rape story, though. Jezebel, the online website, feminist website, was all over this Rolling Stone story when it came out. And if you read the comments, I mean, they're hysterical because of all these people saying, oh my God, the white culture and this poor girl and all this other stuff. And then conservative, somebody on the right brought up, you know, it doesn't sound like this is a true story. And then, of course, everybody hated the right. And how could you even question that? Jezebel has never posted a story about Iasha Rivers. So all this rape culture, all these how bad white people are, and yet when a black woman accuses a rich white man of raping her, nothing. Nothing from Jezebel. Nothing from, I think, the New York Post and one other newspaper printed it. Try to find a story about it. You can't. So a Rolling Stone made-up story, Iasha Rivers, ER report, police report, facts are there. Well, how come that's not in the Rolling Stone? How come Iasha Rivers doesn't have a book contract like liberal Aspen Matis? What else did I want to say? Oh, yes. So there's a liberal newspaper columnist, Linda Stasi. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. But she wrote about Iasha Rivers, actually, and she said that Iasha Rivers deserved whatever she got, because basically if you go to a party with disgusting people like Al Sharpton and his friends, then you kind of know what you're getting into. So that's everything that Aspen Matis says that she has her own organization for, to combat thinking like that. But so it's okay when a white liberal says that Iasha Rivers pretty much deserved to be raped by this old white man. She knew what she was getting into. But when there's made-up stories that the Rolling Stone posts, everybody's outraged when they think the story is true. And then when the story is not true, it's pretty quiet on the liberal side. And then you've got this book by Aspen Matis, and it's lauded by Lena Dunham. Surprise! I don't know. Lena Dunham's never mentioned Iasha Rivers. So all these people who are for the black people, and what the black people's struggle is real. Rape culture is real, but yet they are quiet when it comes to Iasha Rivers. So this is what's happening, and if you still believe media is one-sided, just look up Iasha Rivers. So I feel very bad for her, and if you don't stick up for her and you don't bring justice to Iasha Rivers, then you're full of fucking bullshit. So, alright? Hope maybe this will be the last I talk about Iasha Rivers, but I sincerely doubt it until this hypocrisy is over. So, Al Sharpton, you want to start, you want to prove that what you're doing is honest and you have integrity, maybe you should start with Iasha Rivers and start sticking up for her. Instead of your white, privileged, elite, male, ugly